The last word. All right, and we are live. Welcome to the last word with Lord Cognito and Ebontis, and seems like we got some legendary company here at the campfire. What's going on today?
We do, yeah. So the joys of Guardian Con and Twitter have introduced us to some amazing people, and some have the talents that I will never hold in the world of being an artist. So I'm glad my eyes can behold this art, but I want to let you introduce our guest because we're very lucky to have him here with us today.
Absolutely, we got to do that treatment.
Oh yeah,
let's do it. Welcome to the last word, episode number 95. And it's another glorious Friday. We're back in front of the campfire for some more looter shooter discussion. I'm extremely excited about our special guest, so we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord whom Bontis and I had the pleasure of meeting in the flesh at Guardian Con 2019. Not only is Lord a fixture in the community for his outstanding artwork in the Destiny universe, but his signature rugged style and meticulous attention to detail truly separate his work into that masterpiece category. Introducing the freelance/independent artist of BrianMoncusArt.com, the legend whose artwork has graced My Name is Bife, PlayStation 4, Game Informer, and Bungie.net, and is still the lord of the charcoal brush. Live from GA and making his debut into the campfire of the last word, my man, Lord Brian Moncus. How you doing, sir?
Good. That was quite an intro. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's do it, man. We got to roll a red carpet out for you, man. How you
That was
doing,
a pretty
brother?
long red carpet.
hey, we roll it out big and long. Wait, that sounds terrible.
Woo! Pause.
So we're starting
What's
it
going
early.
on,
It's a
man?
Friday night. Everybody's locked in, so we're going to keep you guys entertained for a little while. But thank you for joining us, Brian. We greatly appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you guys.
Much
Appreciate the
appreciated.
opportunity.
Much appreciated, man. No doubt. Still been getting a lot of Destiny in recently. How's it been going with that, with Destiny, man?
Well, here and there.
Okay.
We're actually in the process of moving, so it's
Oh.
it's kind of tough. But yeah, I've been getting my time in where I can.
Are you like packing or unpacking or like planning to go?
Well, my wife is doing more of the packing. I'm actually doing a lot of the renovation, so my time has been limited in that regard mostly.
Gotcha. Yeah, moving is no joke. It takes a lot out of you, so we can understand that. No doubt. E, man, what's been going on with you, brother?
Well, let's see. Having a job in somewhat of the fitness world and now having that basically on kind of hiatus. I've been playing a lot more, playing lots of games, and jumped onto Neo 2 last night. Got my butt smashed for a while.
Yeah,
Those games are a lot of
I snuck
fun.
in your stream.
Which part did you catch? Did you catch like after I beat that one guy, or the guy I was stuck
You
on
was
for
fighting
like
some
2 hours?
wild boss. I was just like, I don't even want to know how you memorize these patterns. He had like the big sword. You were trying to roll down. It's a big, huge boss. I was like, I don't know how you do it. To me, it's like, God bless you, Dark Souls players. Like, that is torture. Like, that right there, I don't know how y'all do it, man. Literally, I would end up being a dude. I was listening to you say, like, I could never, like, be a guy that throw the controller. That game would probably make me break protocol and throw a controller at the screen.
Yeah, okay, you were watching me during the first part. So,
Okay.
like, I played Bloodborne. That was my first Souls game. And the opening of Bloodborne is literally built to break you, but also teach you the game at the same time. This one, you have, like, this optional boss, which is apparently, like, a cousin, as the chat was helping me out last night. And, like, you literally walk in, you fight one dude. If you've ever played Neo, you're like, okay, I can fight one dude. And then boss. But it's not even a full boss. It's just, like, a dude roaming in a circle. You can choose to fight him or not. I think I fought him for, like, 2 damn hours. And then I was like, okay, so I did finally beat him. But I will definitely say his cousin, when I got to the end of the level, much easier. Because I'd practiced for a while. So, but yeah, we've got a new weapon in the game. Got the catalyst. Got a video up about that. Did a weapon review. Been playing, working on leveling. I can see 4 digits in my power level now.
Okay.
So it's the artifact. I'm gonna blame the artifact completely because I'm
Still
like,
not there.
Yeah, man, you're moving, brother. You're moving, man. I got to catch up, man. It's been a busy time for me obviously everything that's going on in the world, we all know
bit.
the virus we shall not name for demonetization purposes.
Seriously.
But no, seriously. But yeah, man, just been trying to get back into it today. I saw when Horseman dropped, and just getting some Crucible, preparing for trials. You know what I'm saying? So just pretty much it for me. And of course, I had that amazing Osirian Warlock framed. Get me ready. That's motivation when I go into trials
There
this
you
week.
go.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to cop that new Moncus flavor that
Do you
he
give
dropped.
do you give it like an Osiris Fair? I am one with the brother Vance clan.
Oh, yeah,
I am
yeah,
part
yeah.
of the cult. Please bless my
Facts, yeah, we a
trials
cult.
runs.
We a cult. I'm bigger fan of Osiris than Brother Vance. So we come by, do my
Oh,
do
that's
my little.
tough.
I was
Yeah,
like,
Brother
I don't
Vance ain't
know.
got nothing on me.
I was like, at least you got to talk to him. Vance was still sitting down on the Mercury and be like, guys? I feel so sorry for him. Seriously.
Poor Vince. Poor
Yeah.
Vince, man. But before we start real quick, if you don't mind, I was going to ask, our special guest a couple questions. You know what I'm saying? Just in reference to, you know what I'm saying, his journey and stuff like that. And obviously, we all know him for his outstanding artwork. I mean, it we don't have to give comment.
If you're
how
watching the
much-
video, literally, this is him.
Facts. That this is the work. So one thing I noticed I want to say off your work is that I love is to me always have like a lot of signature darker tones, more mature tones in Destiny. Like first of all, your art in general, how'd you get started with that? And then with Destiny, what kind of made you pivot to that style of art?
That's a loaded question.
I know.
We're here. We got time.
Well, getting started in art has kind of been a lifelong journey. Started when I was a kid, that sort of thing. Went through high school, kept doing it. Had nice motivation from my parents, which is always great.
Nice.
And then went to art college and majored in sequential art and animation.
Okay.
And did a little bit of work there. Came out. I did not graduate. Came out 4 years later and started working at a bank, not art related. Kept doing it on the side. Then social media came out. Like I say, came out. Then social media became more prominent, and then started playing Destiny and sort of just fell into the community. And then that's where most of my work has gotten is its exposure, really. So the short version of it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, stylistically,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just something I've always enjoyed doing, like more realistic stuff. I come from a traditional charcoal portraiture background, so
Charcoal is fire.
yeah,
Continue.
yeah. So that's where it comes from. So like when Procreate came out, my the way that the program Procreate works, it's very very friendly to the way that I'm used to drawing. So I've started drawing there, more charcoal-like stuff again, and now I'm trying to get better at painting.
Wow. Okay, we're taking it to the next level. Shout out to Lady because she said his wife brought him a, how do you pronounce it, Cintiq? Is that the
Just throw that in there. She
Shout out
bought
to
me
Lady
a
Marcus.
Cintiq, yeah.
So what is that
Which is,
for us clueless art people?
For us clueless, non-artistic people.
No, yeah, I figured most people probably wouldn't know. So like a tablet is like something you could plug up to your computer and you'd be able to draw on the tablet and see like you're drawing on the screen. That's a basic tablet that you can get for any kind of digital artwork. A Cintiq is it can be sort of a tablet, but there's also some that are basically computers, but you draw directly on the screen of the thing. So they're pretty pricey. I think the one that she got me, surprised me with, was around $2,000.
Wow.
And I wouldn't have gotten it otherwise because I just wasn't prepared to make that kind of investment in myself. But if she hadn't have gotten that for me, it probably wouldn't have progressed as far as I did at the time.
Salute to Lady Moncus.
Yeah,
That's
so she
that's
deserves
what's
the
up.
credit.
Absolutely
Hey,
awesome.
It's awesome to have a support and relationship for anything that you do, so that's great.
It is. It's
Absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely. And then couple highlights I want to point on. Obviously in the intro I talked about the the PlayStation 4 thing. That was really cool. Getting that cover as far as that wallpaper. Obviously
Yeah.
working with the legend. I call him, my name is Bife, the lore legend. Then you had what you said, Game Informer. Like, tell us about a couple of those opportunities, man. How did those pop off?
So Game Informer actually came. A lot of this stuff is revolves around who you know. Put it that way to kind of sum things up.
That's
but
a lot of life you learn as you get older.
yeah. So the in 2016 was Rise of Iron. Is that right? Am I right on that? Was Rise of Iron
That
in
sounds right.
2016?
Yeah, 14,
That sounds
15.
about
Yeah,
right.
that sounds right.
Yeah, that
'cause
sounds about
okay.
right. Yeah.
D1 was 14, so that I know.
Yeah. So when Rise of Iron came out, Game Informer had a contest where you could submit your artwork for a cover for Rise of Iron. Not for Rise of Iron, but for a cover to Game Informer, so to speak. But they weren't going to use it as a cover. They were just using it as a competition, and you would get like a signed copy of your piece with the Game Informer logo, signed by Bungie employees.
Wow, nice.
Gotcha. Oh, wow.
So there was 3 winners. That was the first time that I won anything Destiny related, and it looks nothing like the stuff that I do now. But that contact that I had from that specific event contacted me, I guess a year or so later when D2 came out about doing the Game Informer article interview.
Okay.
And that's how that happened. And then, of course, like the stuff that later happened, like the PS4 thing, that happened be from Guardian Con 2018 when I went. I actually met one of the Bungie, I forget her actual title, but she was kind of over the, what do you want to call it?
So say kind of like a head of a specific department or
yeah, like customer relations type
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I met her, and I want to say that she probably had a hand in this. But when PlayStation went to Bungie about finding an artist to do the PS4 theme, they recommended me as one of the artists. So that's where that came from.
Fire.
And yeah, so everything else kind of fell into place, and then the Bife thing. Of course, I've talked to Bife on and off for quite a long time, and we had been planning to do something, and so that just kind of that came about due to just more exposure and being around, talking to people more often than not.
Networking, brother.
Yeah, networking.
I hear it's good, man. Yeah, shout out to you on that, man. I mean, obviously, I remember the Game Informer. I think it was the Stormcaller art piece.
Yeah, that was the Game Informer one. That was the one that I did for the actual article that they put in Game Informer.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now, kind of black and white with the mountaintop and like the thorn down in the hand. Looks really cool.
Oh yeah, it's the PlayStation 2. Yeah.
That's the Are you talking about the
Game Informer Rise of Iron one I'm looking at? So.
Yeah, that's the Game Informer Rise of Iron one. Looks nothing like what I do now.
Yeah, it's a different style for sure. But I mean, like it's just a different style. It's not. I mean, it's damn good too.
Yeah,
but
it's
so how do you go? I mean, do you just have a lot of styles? You just kind of choose what you go to? Because I've seen a tendency like of your recent art has its feel to it, and then is there a reason you make a jump, or what makes you want to change a complete style, or is it just like an evolution of what you've like built on?
It's a little bit of all of that. So as a younger person, as an artist, you're kind of like always searching for what your own style, but you're also copying artists that you enjoy and that you like. And I've always been a fan of like comics and things like that. So like there's a lot of comic artists that I enjoy their work. And Joe Mad had a big influence on me coming up when I was in high school and middle school. So. That played a role in a lot of my pencil artwork. And then the more I skewed towards charcoal and stuff was from college, and that had a lot to do with like classical artists, like legit like old masters and things like that. Like you're talking about Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Rembrandt, blah blah blah. So with that combined with the other, it just kind of all melts together. And that earlier stuff that you're looking at. That was before I really got into Procreate and some of the other programs that are available today. So everything I do now, I would feel is definitely more raw me, than before, because I was limited on the tools that I could use digitally back then.
Gotcha. Now I was gonna ask you this, like, again, we talked offline. Obviously, one of my favorites is that Osirian Warlock. And that Osiris, fanboy in me was loving all that. So you got that money early. Don't worry about that. But I wanted to ask you, another one of my favorite pieces is actually the Oryx piece and the King's Fall. That is amazing, because one thing that I like that you did, is the sense of scale, and you're seeing that, you know what I'm saying, the Guardians. It feels like how you would feel going in that raid itself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I wanted to shout, like, how did you get to that whole thought process? How long did it take you to kind of make your pieces, and that one in particular? Because I think that was a really iconic one from you, in my opinion.
That one was. I mean, I'd always wanted to do an Oryx piece. I haven't done a Oryx piece. I think I'd done a portrait of him in charcoal, but I'd never done a actual completed version of him. So I was like, well, I'll do one. And then I always thought it was really cool. Like the whole King's Fall raid was just amazing. And I didn't quite get to experience it as much because I was back in D1. I played more by myself than anything. But I did watch it. I did watch the world's first kill with, I want to say it was Broman and Goth and them. And just that whole fight was just so cool to me. And I kind of wanted just to, immortalize that moment a little bit.
Absolutely. It's iconic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gaming Forte. He said the best raid in Destiny. Yes, I know you guys are right. But it's a big heated debate as far as raids. But I've always respected King's Fall. I've always said I wouldn't be mad at anyone who has it as their favorite raid. You know what I'm saying? So it's in the pantheon. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like Oryx. Just I mean we haven't seen Savathun yet, but like out of all the bosses in Destiny so far,
I'll give you that.
Oryx was just such a.
I'll give you that.
His whole demeanor was just like bad. I mean, the guy just he just wanted death. I mean, it was even the I don't know which mission it is. I think it's one of the first and last missions in D1 in the Taken King campaign that you go through.
Yes.
When he's manifest and he's just the way he's talking to you and like telling you like feed your light to me and all this stuff. It's just the way he speaks and everything, or I guess the voice actor that does it's just it's so sick, man. I just like, but there's no other boss in the game that has been that like just I don't know. Like
no, I give it to you, bro. I give it to you, man. Because like I said, I mean, we've had the chat is already starting right now with the fighting, the raid fighting. And all I would say is this: I mean, obviously, they know I'm a big Fault to Glass fan, but I think I have to give this to you. Like you said, as far as the difficulty, we and Ian's have this conversation. As far I call it like a real man's raid, as far as how difficult it was. But like you said, more about Oryx, and I think what was great about it is how they led the story into it, and then you had that epic conclusion where the raid continued the story, and he's larger than life. So yeah, I agree. I gotta give it up on that level. What you gonna? I know this is on your list. I know you're smiling right now. I know you're feeling real good about all this.
I'm honestly just like browsing through, and I'm like, I'm looking at some of the ones that I've liked before. I think the one that like set me, because Warlock over there for Cognito, very much a Warlock. And then when you did the what you call the Devastator, the one-eyed mask with the hammer, dude, that one, like, that was one of the ones I'd watched the art. Like the Oryx one was cool, like so many, and then that one I was just like, for me being like a Titan, I was just like, damn, because I've always like as soon as as in Taken King when the Fire Titan, the Hammer Titan came out. That's when I switched from playing Hunter in D1 to Titan, and that was like the hammer. That was when I switched.
Okay, you telling the truth. You told the truth on air. I'm happy.
Yeah. When you encapsulated that one, I was just like, oh, it's a beast. And then, of course, One-Eyed Mask having its run for the longest time. But no, there's so many in here that are just they're so epic.
I've done a lot, and honestly, I love the pieces that I've done. But it's weird because I've learned so much when it comes to color and paint application in digital. I'm still learning, but I've learned so much in such a short amount of time. Because each thing that I do, I learn something new, and it's not small things. It's usually big things. And I'll go back and I'm like, I really wish I'd have done this. When I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy when I complete them, but then about a couple of pieces later, I go back and I'm like, man, this would have looked so much cooler if I'd have done it this way.
So what's one where you see like what's one where you can look back and be like, one now for like an older example? What's one you see that you could want to change
Okay,
potentially?
so like a lot of the way that some of those first ones were done, where I would complete a black and white drawing, which is not uncommon to do an underdrawing for a painting.
Yeah.
But what I would do is I would successively lay layers over that of color in different overlays and different types of layer modes in Procreate,
Yep.
which is not uncommon. But there is a big difference in how those layers get applied to the overlay versus actually opaquely painting over something. It's just a different look. And if you'll look at like some of my newer stuff, this is hard to explain without getting really, really technical.
Go for it.
If you look at, like, for instance, the Hunter,
Yes.
that I just did.
The way of the
Golden
golden
gun?
gun.
Yeah, the Golden Gun. A lot of that, it's not a lot of it. Pretty much all of it was painted opaquely over the top of a very, very messy underdrawing. I did not finish the underdrawing before I went through and painted over that. And it's not perfect, but it's also way, way, way different in process than the way I've done the others. And I'm getting more used to painting opaquely over something versus doing lots and lots of layers. Which, it's hard to show you what that would look like on the older ones, but let me just tell you, it would make a world of difference in how the colors come forward and how the shadows recede, and it's just different. I can't explain it, but it does have a different look to it, or it would.
Yeah, looking through some of the older ones, like even from Oryx and then Saladin, Saint 14, Osiris, they have a darker tone, I guess, almost like a darker feel. And then when you go kind of to the newer ones, I mean, you kind of said it. It's like the colors are more vibrant. The lightning on Way of the Current pops. Even just Baby Yoda, which I love the Baby Yoda one. By the way, I saw that and I was like,
that's another one. I did a lot of opaque painting in that particular painting versus the other ones. And the Way of the Current had some too. That was when I really started doing it. But the ones prior to that, like the Saladin, like you mentioned, it being darker, and that's a lot of the reasons, because it was done with a very like charcoal type history from me, because I'm used to doing like a lot of dark, like heavy darks and like a little bit of light. Yeah. Because that's how you get good contrast in like in a drawing. If you're going to do like a charcoal drawing. But anyway, when I go to apply color over something like that, you can only apply color over the areas that are lit, so to speak. I mean, you can do tinted shadows, but it just doesn't work out as well the way I was doing the process. So like as I progressed and got better at adding color, a lot of my paintings got more lighter, like as in like more lit.
Yeah, I like that. I like you can say that.
Yeah, more lit.
More lit. I like that. Continue.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Listen, if you ever, want to revisit, Osiris with these new techniques, you let your boy know. I got the pre-order ready. If you ever want to decide to revisit that one,
I will never do another Osiris piece. simply because
like
the dude has too many damn feathers. I spend so much time on those things. Yo, it's not even funny.
You know what? Yeah. I can understand that. Yeah, his outfit is very intricate, and I can see as an artist how that could be extremely annoying. But yo, you killed that, man. I'm looking at it right now. Man. Yo, for the chat, everybody, like I said, if you want to get an idea of what we're talking about, please go to BrianMoncusArt.com. Has a lot of his pieces up right now. Just kind of like browsing through, and yeah, man, it is phenomenal. You got Sagira in there. Like when I saw you put me onto that, and I was just like, wow, the level of detail, and again, like you said, with the charcoal and just that dark, mature tone. That's what I love about your stuff. It's like in your artwork, Destiny's not a happy place. It's real out here. That's why I like
Luigi's having a pretty tough time too. If you check that one out, Luigi's rough. So I wanted to ask, are there like, are there any ones that you've like wanted to do, or do you have like this just list of things that you want to do, or stuff you haven't got to, or are there things you've thought about but you're like, maybe it doesn't fit my style? Are there ones that are like pending out there that you like, would look forward to, or ones that you like have thought about and you're like, maybe just not? I'm just kind of curious of the ones that haven't quite made it through to the canvas per se.
I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of them that are hanging out there. I have a lot of roughs that I've done that I haven't followed through yet for one reason or another. And in all honesty, like I've done a lot of Destiny artwork. I mean, and it's not that it gets to a point where it's boring. It's just that I have to get to, like Trials or anything else. Like I have to get to a point of inspiration.
Yes.
Because it gets to be monotonous when you're just like, oh, let me see what else what other armor I want to draw, And I've gotten to the point now where it takes like Saint 14 or something like that. Like I was completely inspired to do another Saint 14 piece when I saw they were bringing him back. I was just, and I'd already done a Saint 14. If it hadn't have been for that, I probably wouldn't have done another one because I just didn't feel a reason to. But when I saw him in the trailer, I was like, yep. I have a different feeling for him now. I have so much more under my belt as far as what I've learned, so I want to do another one. But it takes that really for me now. Like Trials, I'd been meaning to do the Trials armor because I loved it from D1, and when they brought it back, I was just like, it's just been something I've been wanting to do for quite a while, so I'm gonna throw these together.
All right.
Yeah,
Don't continue. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that's kind of what it takes these days for me. I have to have some inspiration.
No, sometimes that's the best. That's when some of your best work comes, right? I mean, at the end of the day, when you got that passion behind it to do it, it's gonna motivate you to go through, as opposed to like an assembly line of requests from people or you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's hard. I have plenty of respect for the people that can do commission after commission.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't enjoy drawing for people, but my best work, and I'll honestly say that just about any artist's best work is always going to come from within themselves. When they're doing something that comes from their heart or comes from their sole place of inspiration, that's going to be their best stuff every time, hands down.
No question.
Man, I respect it.
You got any?
That's what I got, E.
You got anything? What's here? Do you have a next one coming, or is that Hunter kind of like taking a break since then?
No, I'm gonna do the Titan. I'm working on the rough sketch
Titan.
right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've never
You're gonna
done
make me
armor
spend some money. Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah. I had to save the best for last,
I don't know if I can let that one slide, Mr. Moncus.
I like that little just slip in there.
These Titans getting together. I don't know how I feel about you Titans getting together.
I'm branded.
Salute.
Yeah, he's
salute.
no
You know what?
question.
I respect that. I'm about to have to give me a warlock tattoo. I respect that though. I respect that. Nah, you Titans got it right now, man. I respect it. Big time, man. Any other questions you got for the legend before we get into the show?
No, I was gonna ask, like, just for a general time for one of these pieces, I guess I was gonna say, like, how many hours do you think you put into a piece? I mean, I know some are gonna be more or less, like, even if like the older ones take longer, the new ones are more efficient, or vice versa. Just kind of curious on like time frame on some of those. Just, I mean, people see up there and be like, hey, that print's $15, but it's like, for you, it's like, how many hours did you slave over those things? It's like, it's fair. So just kind of curious.
I've learned a lot. I've learned how to speed myself up in ways, especially this last one. I did it in 3 days working time for me, which is not 3 days of full working hours, but in my world, that's like probably a maximum of at most 6 hours a day. But that's from start to finish. And I think more or less like it's not so much, it is time involvement, but it's also knowledge and experience, because a year ago, I could have easily spent 25, 30 hours on the one that I just did. And now I'm using a different process, still happy with the result, and doing probably half the time if that, and it's the time you put in is important, but there's nothing quite like paying someone for something that, like if you were going to commission one or something like that, there's nothing like paying someone for the knowledge and skill they have, because a lot of that stuff people sit there and say like, how long you been drawing, or I wish I could draw like that, but like, it's just time. Like you gotta, it's trial and error, it's repetition, and
Gotta get
if
your
I hadn't
10,000
have
hours
spent,
in.
if I hadn't have spent that 20 hours on that one piece, I wouldn't have learned the little things that I did to apply to the next. And it's like a stepstone.
All right, fair enough. Actually, I got a question for you. I just thought about it. Like, obviously, we know your passion. You do this. You're doing all these things. You got all these things going on. Now, we do know that Bungie has an art team. Would you ever, like, let's just say an opportunity presented itself? Would you ever consider like doing something for Bungie, like on a full time basis, or you like your freedom of like kind of doing what you do and having the versatility of doing other things outside of Destiny?
That's something that this past year is the first time I actually ever thought about that seriously. I actually applied to Bungie twice for concept artist type positions, which
I figured you would. That's what I was actually gonna say. It was like, what would you do? Concept, probably.
probably, but I do know how the concept art world works. It's not as it's different. I mean, you're talking about a very fast paced environment and people who have to pump out artwork extremely quickly and a very professional. But I think more so this year I've weighed, if somebody put both on the table for me and said, look, you could stream every day and you could do what you're doing now and make a living off of it, be comfortable. Or you could work at Bungie, for instance, and do a concept artist job and be comfortable. Which one would you pick? And in all honesty, I probably would go with the Twitch or with the streaming slash, the more freelance entrepreneur type
Gotcha.
Build, because in the end, it doesn't matter if you're doing artwork if you're always creating for somebody else and you're never really your own.
I feel that.
In a job situation. I mean, you could always do that on the side no matter what you're doing, but like if you wanted to really love your job as an artist, you're going to want the freedom to create what you want to. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. And if you have a job, or as an artist, if you're making money living and doing that, then you've got it made.
Yes. That's the ultimate position, right?
That's it.
Great answer, man. Great answer. I respect it, man. Big time. So, that's what all I got for the legend. We will get in, or you got some more questions?
No, I mean, we could sit there and pick his brain for hours, but honestly, those time lapses that you do, I love those time lapses. They're probably not easy to sit there and like record the capture per se, but they are
actually
not bad.
Procreate records them in the background for you.
Oh wow!
All I have to do is export the video and then add a little bit of intro, endings, type transitions, and some music, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, those I could watch those on every piece that you do. So keep those coming. That's all I gotta say. Because it's nice to see the development of like, here's this one, like the eyes are here. It's like, okay, they shrink. Then they like just the little developments all the little things that you do is like the changes you go through. It's like, okay, this is kind of where it started. And if you like take the initial sketch, then there's like not the biggest changes, but they're like, you see why you like, I don't know. It's cool to see the development. So yes, please. Those
I
are
agree.
awesome.
Totally agree.
Out.
But yeah, we are a Destiny podcast. But yeah, shout out to this man. By the way, if you're on video, this is going to look weird for just a second, but I really don't care because I want to shout out this man for one more thing. And it's the shirt that I'm wearing, and that's why my whole screen's going to be green right now. And it's right here.
Woo!
This is Moncus. This is the Bungie store. I got the shirt, so it's the Aerostar shirt. Had to throw it up there, so yeah, it's awesome.
Masterpiece.
Very happy to get that one. So
that's right.
Anyway. But yeah, this whole game of Destiny 2, obviously we got 2 Titans, 1 Warlock in here tonight, so that's
holding it down against the evil
yeah.
Titans.
Hey, don't worry. I think chat is like all hunters right now, so we got a good balance in here going on. So you're totally fine.
Imagine that.
But yeah. There's a lot of hunters in PvP. What? No. So new week, and got a quest. We got a trailer for the quest. So I wanted to ask you guys, before we even got the quest, we got a trailer. The quest was coming on to like a couple hours before it dropped. Did you guys, and this is kind of a question I had for others out there, did you guys like the fact that it was a trailer? Did the fact that we knew how it was coming? Do you want more of a surprise? Like they had the calendar fairly vague. And then I replied was like, hey, what do you guys think? It's a trailer. Do you like this is exactly what you're getting today versus there's a quest and go figure out what it's going to be. So before we get into like the process of it and stuff, I wanted to ask you guys just about the delivery of the trailer and the announcement and stuff and the fact that it's, we know what we're getting going in. Did you guys like that? Are you okay with it? Yay, nay?
What Moncus, man? How you feel about it? You like knowing ahead of time or no? Like,
Are you mean like the trailer for
Horseman?
Fourth Horseman.
Horseman?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with it. I'm kind of used to it at this point. Me personally, I'm a fan of those surprise things. Like when we get a new expansion drop or a new DLC or something like that, or I say DLC, that's all seasons. If it would be cool if like everybody's just playing and then it's just like, oh, look, what is this? And then oh, look, I go over here and do this, and oh, look, there's it's an exotic quest here. We don't know what it's for. We have no idea. And then everybody's like, how did you get that? And like, oh, it dropped off of some random thing. Like to me, that gets people kind of more going than the hype, which I think is what they're trying to do with some of these trailers, which I get it. It's I get it, but I don't know. I'm just a fan of like seeing that stuff just pop up out of nowhere. Because it really surprises people, That's my take.
I hear. Yeah, I mean, I saw your tweet, E, so I knew this was coming. I actually predicted you would ask this.
Well, actually, somebody replied to me, and Bungie replied to them, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So
Somebody said
they
the
had an
same
opinion.
thing. They had an opinion. I'm in the middle. I mean, I agree with y'all for the most part. There's something special about the surprise of not knowing, right? There's something really cool when you log into Destiny and like Moncus said, like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? And then the whole community is trying to figure the thing out, and it's cool. I'm in the point where like if there's a balance with it, I'm cool. If they're starting to do this for like every exotic or every quest that's coming, then I'm gonna have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you're taking away the mystery from the game, and the game still needs that. To be honest, no disrespect to Four Horsemen, like I was like, Four Horsemen gets a trailer? Like, I mean, I don't know. I never, maybe I'm a hater. I never really got crazy for that gun in D1. I've never jumped from the ceiling and was like, yo, Four Horsemen. Like, it's never been that for me. So I was surprised, like the way they were acting, like it was low-key Galahorns came back. And I'm just like, this is Four Horsemen, y'all. Like,
They put a little more effort into the Galahorn trailer, but still.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Call me a hater. I was just surprised that Four Horsemen was the choice to do a trailer for. So that's all. But other than that, all right, let's see how it goes. Moving forward, probably would prefer the surprise. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. But I know you got a lot on this, E. What you think?
No, I mean, I'm kind of with you guys, and it's tough because Fabian's strategy trailer. Let's go.
Dead.
Come on,
Jarv, this is
Jarv, you're killing me. Oh, my God. Talaylock trailer. Now, if they did a trailer for each class weapon, then you're good. Talaylock was still a beast, actually. But
yeah,
it was.
No, I mean, for me, it's we get the trailer. I'm like, cool, I know it's coming. We get the quest, then we'll talk about the quest itself. But I was just still, I'm with you guys. Like, I want a little bit of the surprise. Be like, hey, there's a quest today. Even if you go up to Saint 14 or you go somewhere, and he's like, hey, go do this thing. And then we've got this hidden gun. Then we get to go get it. Then we wouldn't know. Now, there's the teaser trailer where we know about one other one that's coming. So they're like, hey, this is the one you're getting now. Set expectations. They have the toughest line in the world to walk with their community because everybody's like, I want all this amazing stuff. There's this cool Cabal minigun that's coming. Okay, we get the shotgun as well. Which one's coming now? And then some could be like hype and let down. So it's trying to balance all of that. I get it. But I'm with you guys to where like, hey, here's a quest, what do you get? As opposed to, here's a trailer, go get it. Just slightly different feel of, I know what I'm getting versus, let's see what's at the end of the road.
Yeah, I want to shout out I Plead the Fifth. He's like, man, they better not do a trailer for Galahorn. I hate the boy break it to you. They definitely going to do it.
No, it's not coming.
Yes, E, we know. We're going to fight. We're going
to
bust out there and fight. I don't want to do it right now.
No Galahorn. Leave that thing in D1.
Calm down. Listen, we're not talking about bringing it back. We're just talking about if it were, according to I Plead the Fifth, right? Would they do a trailer? And unfortunately, I think they would, because if you
It
remember,
would be
remember when
hype
it
and
came back?
advertising. Yeah.
Yeah, they did like it's back in black. Remember they did all this for Rise of Iron,
It's Rise of
remember?
Iron. Yep.
Gallahorn is probably the most iconic Destiny gun. They would definitely eat off a trailer. There's no way I could see them sneaking that one in. I'd be shocked if they did. That's what I would say. But we ain't gonna have our normal fight about whether they should come back, because that'll be a 2-hour show. We got Moncus here.
Moncus, can we get a weigh-in? Do you want it back or do you not?
He's starting it.
Do I want Gallahorn?
Yeah. In D2.
I don't want it in the sense of, hey, do you have Gallahorn for this raid boss? Because that's like Whisper or anything was and all that. Like, I don't mind them bringing it back, but it's not. I don't, for trailers and all that. Like, no, but I mean, bringing the gun back itself, I'm okay with it, but I don't want it to be like one of those weapons where, like it was, like how it just you just wanted to use that and only that.
Only that.
Like, I don't like weapons like that at all. I don't care if they're heavy on primary. I don't like weapons that just don't have good counters. That just you don't want to take them off.
I got you. The de facto, those.
That's all right. Apparently, we hear you've got one anyway, so you're good to go. You don't need another one. He's got one in his house.
I do, actually.
Really?
You got the big model somewhere?
Yeah, it's in my closet right now. I'm going to hang it up in my room.
That thing's like the size of a small person, so it's huge.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Ask Mr. Moncus how he feels about comp. Soldier of the
Cross.
Soldier of the Cross. Yeah. What's up with comp? Sorry, we got a distraction in chat, so we got to ask.
He's picking on me.
Uh-oh.
Okay, he's picking on me because I get mad, man. I can't. I mean,
the rage?
Yeah, but it's weird for me. Like, I don't get mad at like losing. I get mad at like the fact that when I play Destiny and everything, you know how I think everybody gets this, but you see the same loadouts, man. Like this, and it's not that it's bad. Like, I get why it happens. I get why people use the weapons that are meta because they're meta. Right. And people who are good with them just amplify that effect. Well, when we run up against that stuff, I'm like, I just want to be able to use different weapons. I want to be like True Vanguard and pull out this random stuff and just kill people with it. But when I do it, I can do okay, but like it's like you're not going to stand a chance against these people using anything but meta. Yeah, and it bothers me. It just bothers me. I mean.
I know what you mean. I'm going through it right now with Hardlight. I'm really struggling.
Say, you guys enjoying the laser light show of PvP right now?
Oh my god! I'm actually I haven't really been using it. Hardlight's fun, but I don't know. I'm just having fun with it. I'm like, look at all these ricochet rounds.
Bro, I'm at the point I'm very angry with this guy. Like, I played a lot of comp last week. I played Trials last week. Played a lot of comp this week. And man, you know what it is, E? It's like, okay, I get the autos got the buff. I understand that. The problem with this gun that I have is if I'm in range 2, range 3, and I got a scout and a post, that thing should not be out shooting me. There's no drop off. And I'm like, bro, like, come on. Like that. Like, it's to the point now, I have PTSD with Hardlight. Like, the minute I see it and then I get shot, I run. Like, if someone shoots me first, I don't even try to counter. I run and see if I can get the shot off first or a better position to outflank or something. Yeah. You're not beating that gun. Like, you're not beating it. I am so disgusted right now. I am gonna snitch. Bungie, if you're listening to it, that gun got to get handled, bro. It is too much. It's too much. Like, so literally, you watch
the ricochet rounds, the range drop off.
Lead the ricochet rounds. That's part of the thing in the gun. It's the range drop off. There should be like that range where you got shotgun, submachine guns.
It has no range.
Bro, it shouldn't have that. It should have some drop off. It should have. And now with the stability the way it is, the 600's got that buff. It's crazy right now. If you're not taking that gun, and I'm kind of like Moncus in this way, like, I'm an anti-meta. I'm a little stubborn. I'm a little anti-meta guy. Like, if everybody's using something, I'm like, I don't want to use that. Everybody. You know what I mean? So I'm trying different things. There's really not too many counters for it, and that's my thing that got me really frustrated. It's beating everything I got. Oh,
Anyway,
Well,
back to. Oh no, you can go. No, go.
I was just gonna say, like, I mean, it doesn't bother me as much just because I like auto rifles anyway. I don't use it, but like I do counter them fairly well. And I will say this: in trials, when I was running up as a 970 person, running up against people who are over 1,000 light, using the ricochet rounds is about the only damn chance I had against people.
Yeah.
I did kill one guy bouncing him off the floor at him, but I was like, I can kill these people.
We got pro strats out here.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, listen, if you're at that light level going against the 1,000 guys and all that stuff with artifact, I get it. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? At that point, it is. Yeah, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said,
got your meta email. All right, check. All right, I got it. Go ahead and hop in.
All you have to do is pull up your tweet when you say, "Hey, let me see what's the most kills and comp going on."
Trials report, and I was just like updating over the weekend. What was 5 million kills with hard light? Revoker was number 2.
Bro.
Yeah, and it was that number 2 was like 2 million kills, and then shotgun Thorn was somewhere. But yeah, no, it was by far and away like 200 or 300% more than other weapons. It was, especially for primary. Yeah, there was nothing to compare it.
I'm all about autos getting some love, but damn.
You hate autos, dude.
I hate autos from the standpoint of, this is just me biased. I feel it's an easy gun to use. Of course, I don't mind they got a buff. My issue is just that specific gun. In this meta, it's like if you're not hard lighting, baby, you're not really gonna do much out there. I mean, I've seen what's it, Dire Promises. I've seen the Thorns. You know, Revoker. Obviously, the snipers are living out, and I like this. I'm not a sniper, but I like to see snipers doing their thing. But I just hate when we have those metas where it's that one gun, and it's just like, man. So we'll see.
It'll get adjusted. They're gonna do it. They always do. I don't know what they're gonna do to it, but they will.
Yeah. So this week it's on Anomaly, if you guys haven't seen. So last week was a bit longer range, a little more corners. Anomaly, we've got Hard Light winning the top. Mindbenders, Duskrock Blues are 2 and 3 this time. So snipers are a little lower. Then you got Suros, Beloved, and then you get into the hand cannons. But I mean, hand cannons have been living at the top for how long now? And then we finally got hand cannons in like 6, 7, like instead of 1, 2, and 3. So it is nice to at least shift stuff a little bit for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Just shift that down to get nerfed. shift that hard light into some range drop off, and I'll be fine.
I can't imagine I haven't played Trials this week yet, but hard light on Anomaly, I can only imagine.
Oh my God.
Every which way corner. You may as well just not be able to move.
We'll see what happens.
So anyway, we had a trailer. Sorry, these happen. It's called tangents. We do that at times. Hashtag long point.
Yes, sir.
Fourth Horseman quest actually dropped. Did you guys get your weapon?
Mm-hmm.
I have not yet. Have you gotten it, Moncus?
Thanks to my wife, she was actually ahead of me on this one.
Salute.
And she was there with me to catch it up, and then we did the I did it the night before last. We got it. So yeah.
Nice.
So how's it? You guys have it? I'm assuming you have it as well, right?
Yeah, I got it and the catalyst actually. I was lucky.
How's it feeling? Yeah.
Do you have the catalyst yet, Moncus?
I don't have the catalyst.
So, describe the reload speed of it normally.
I hate it. I mean, to burn through 4 shots in like a second, we just reload this thing.
And it's like, hold on. He's like, Foom.
Like, can I get an auto loading?
Something, man. Can I get John Wick loading speed, please?
Oh God!
I was watching John Wick 3 when he's doing the like and throwing all 4 of them in the receiver. I was like, God, that's a beast. But
Could you imagine if your Guardian did that? That would be sweet.
Oh, I would. Sweet.
Can I please see that animation? Like you've got the 4 there, you pick them up and then like slides them all in at once. Oh, that'd be crazy.
Put it on Eververse. I'd buy
it. John Wick reload animation. Yeah. 100% sold as well. So normally the reload speed is 42. Catalyst takes it to 78. Next to doubles the reload speed. And it gives it a 5th in the chamber.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So you get 1 more. And it fires. I did double. This is my whole review I did double shotgun reserves. So you have 20 total in your clip. Or 20 total. So if you do, you can have 4 5 times over, or you can have 5 4 times over with the catalyst. And the 5 4 times over, you're done with the 5 before he even starts firing the 4th set, much less reloading and getting to the 5th. Wow. So you're done with the 20, like with the catalyst, before you're done with 16 with the other one.
Wow.
So much more damage. It's a beast. Like it's a damage. And this is what I was doing. I was helping a couple people like run just whatever. I was streaming one night. And when you, like, if you can stagger a champion or something like that, and then just go down and go, boom, dude, it's just health bar going down. It's really, really good for those situations. I mean, this whole season is based around close range, sidearms, submachine guns, swords. Oh, and you want to know a better one? Switch to a sword, heavy uppercut.
Oh, nice.
Now, that's a hell of a lot of damage in a very, very short period of time. So, like, when it comes to, like, if you got people who can stagger, because, I mean, it honestly should have one of those perks on it. Either barrier, unstoppable, or it should have unstoppable or overload. I think one of those should definitely be in there. It's not, sadly. But if you can have somebody stagger it and go in and do 4 and then switch over to sword and do a big uppercut, man, they're not going to have a lot of health left. Go hide, reload everything, and do it again.
So we talking like it's feeling like escalation protocol shoddy pre-nerf trench barrel flavor, like it's just ripping through. It's dominant.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. I gotta give a hand.
I mean, your 5 shots, it's got a more. It hits like a truck and kicks like a mule. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, it does. It kick really hard.
If you don't hold the trigger and I hold all 5, I'm looking almost at the ceiling.
Oh wow!
I'm literally next to one. I'm like, oh god!
Wow, kick is real.
So you have to pull it down a lot.
Like even shotgun reloader perks are not really helping with that.
I haven't tested those actually specifically, just because I was trying to test it without. The catalyst is big. I actually would be curious to try shotgun reloader, maybe a double stack if I can just get a pair of arms with it. That might help a little bit. Just like stock though, the catalyst doubles the speed alone. So without those, the catalyst is now the catalyst. Just so you guys know, can come from the Seraph Tower chest, the Lost Sector chest, even somebody said just from clearing the bunker. So if you stick with the Warmind activities, good, bad luck or otherwise, hopefully you'll get it. Knock on something. I don't even have any wood around me. I do. I got it on my second run, and somebody's like streamer luck. So
it's RNG based. You can't. It's not even a guaranteed.
Yep, it's RNG. Okay. Yep, just from all of those chests and activities.
Interesting.
Now, Moncus, for the quest itself, and then your wife can, give you a little like handwritten note of her thoughts as well. You guys both went through the quest. What'd you think of the quest?
It's okay. I mean, it was just more or less. I guess they try to throw the whole thing in there as like a little side mission type thing. I thought it was kind of neat how you had to go through Zavala's office, whatever. That was kind of cool. Part. But the actual like the busy part of the quest, go kill this stuff, I'm not too like surprised by that. It's pretty typical. I didn't feel like it was more. I don't know what the word is. It didn't feel like it was part of like some kind of story. I don't know. Kind of got disconnected there. It's just like, here, do this, and this is pretty much it. Just back and forth here, and then a couple of things. But
just go kill 1,000 Cabal. Go kill. Well, it turned into go kill 50 Scions. Like, okay, I did a Lost Sector 3 times over, and then go kill either Mars public events or kill Cabal. And I was like, I ran the Lost Sector and killed Cabal. I was like, dude, I only have like 4%. What in the living hell is this? And then you finally go and you do a public event on Mars. A real public event is 20%. But what's everybody going to do? Escalation protocol. Protocol. So then you're killing Hive for a Cabal related quest. I was like, how's that work?
Yeah, you know what like was interesting to me, like when it came to weapons and how they introduced them, which I know this is a lot more work, but you know how when they brought in the the Whisper quest and the Outbreak Prime or Outbreak Perfected, that was cool because like you actually had this fault, like you actually had something that was going on there. And you were brought back to the tower, which was neat. But you also had a Fallen that had supposedly stole this weapon, which was kind of kind of cool because you're racing through the tower, trying to head him off at the curve, I guess, sort of. But like I like that. I like that because it felt interactive. I didn't feel like I was mindlessly killing things. I felt like I had a goal, I had a mission. It was timed. It was tough.
Yes.
Of course, doing that for every exotic they bring back would require a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. But those are the kind of things that I find interesting because you actually get to experience that with your friends, and you're all like cussing at each other because you fail or because you,
Dude, why did you just die? What happened? What, Trevor? Okay, seriously, calm down. It's Trevor.
Yeah, that was awesome. They actually made shirts out of that.
Thank you. Wasn't it like a magical moment, Lord Marcus?
Yeah.
Like, don't you just love to keep these things around? I'm starting trouble. There's a little argument, internal argument, but
I never said I didn't like the quest.
But you want the exotics to go away. But moving on.
This is a can of worms that's been ongoing since.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it because this will be a
discussion. Yeah,
this will be a 3-hour podcast, and we ain't gonna do that. We got a guest.
Yeah,
but no, definitely I hear what you guys say. Look, from the outside looking at it, I just got the beginning of the quest. I'm on like maybe step 2 or 3, and so far I kind of feel kind of how Moncus feels, where it's like, it started off cool. I like the idea of going into, Zavala's special little vault, his office, and I was looking around and stuff. Shout out to Zavala. I don't know if y'all looked. He got a trials chest. He's got like a lighthouse chest thing on his.
Yeah.
Did you see
I saw
that?
one.
I was like, "What you doing at the lighthouse?" Though? But that's another thing. So I did think
Zavala's been around a lot longer than you have. So
yeah, man, the boy been around. So I was messing around with the little platforming inside. You see the vault. You see it's been stolen. You go back. So the beginning I felt had promise. I like that. But as it went on, you speak to Anna, and it's like public sector and this and Scion kill and this, and it just, that's where I kind of got disconnected, and it just felt busy work, busy work, and I didn't feel any emotional attachment to the weapon. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like, they kind of connected that, and again, I get it. Like Moncus said again, we can't get a whisper in a 0 hour every single time. But I do wish, especially with exotics, maybe there's another way they can introduce it with some lore that'll really get you excited about it. And the last thing, Emi, you've talked about this ad nauseum, is like stuff like Tommy's matchbook and symmetry. I just hate that when you log in and there's a battle pass, here you go, exotic. And it's just like there's no context. It's just you got the battle pass. We're giving you a free exotic. Give me a quest or something to give me a little attachment to the gun. I've always felt that way about it. So we'll see how they go moving forward. You know what I'm saying? They definitely were excited. They put a trailer out about it, but I got to get the gun. Because I'm definitely hearing good things. I'm actually hearing good things about it in PvP. I want to try that.
See, that I would be surprised. Maybe it's a little better range this time around. In D1, the range was like 2. That thing you had to be next to the people, and that's why it was mostly good in PvE. Yeah, I don't know how it is in PvP. I mean,
you said
What? Oh, Cross?
No, I said Cross. I think Cross got a video. He was saying that I think shotgun range I got nerfed to whatever 8 meters, whatever it is. Yeah. He said I think it falls outside of it. I think it's like 9, but it's like a Bronco. Like you shoot the thing and it's all over the place. So you got to deal with that. But I heard you could really put somebody down with it.
Yeah, if you get that perfect range before a super hits you and you're just like, and you dump like a decent sized clip, you'll put a lot of damage out. It just kind of depends if you can get in range and also rein in that bucking Bronco, because it will definitely kick you to the ceiling.
Yeah. Good old 4 Horseman.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm with you guys as well, because it did felt like busy work. You had however many kills in public events. Sorry, wolves are outside. You guys can hear that.
Saladin's wolf salute.
Yeah, my 2 huskies. So yeah, I was like, do that, and then I was like, Scions. I was like, I did the Lost Sector first. I was like, there's like 14 Scions in there, so I did the Lost Sector 3 times. But then you find a chest, and it's like 20%. I'm like, okay. And then the last one is go kill. I ended up doing just the public events just to kill enemies. I think whatever the last piece was just. That was the monotonous of, I think, most of them. Because at least in Escalation Protocol, I'm going through waves, and it's just, it's checking the percentage box. I think the last one was just kills, whatever it was, and it just took a while. And when you say the start of it sets up with, like, Zavala's office, That was really cool to go in, little tower section, like you saw like 9 Hydras tweeted out on Twitter. It's like, hey, when you guys see it in there, see if you guys catch anything. And then all of a sudden, that part sets it up cool, and you get busy work in the end, and you do the legendary Lost Sector, and you just get the gun. There's not even like a closing quest discussion with Zavala in the end.
Zavala.
Hey, thanks for getting this. I got to polish it up. Let me load it up. Something, as opposed to Lost Sector gun done. Like, that it's just like anticlimactic ending. It's like if you've run the legendary Lost Sector, you're like, woo, I got my gun. So it's just, it didn't have the... I mean, I know it's a D1 exotic and they're bringing it back, and hopefully they treat the other one, the giant Cabal minigun or whatever, this season a little better. And I don't always expect it all the time, but I would rather have less exotics delivered better than more exotics just kind of dumped in with busy work, if that's just my opinion. So.
No, facts. Completely agree.
Totally agree.
So that was the big one. And then, if you guys didn't hear, for about 3 or 4 hours, the final step of the quest was the legendary Lost Sector that wasn't even active. So, did you hear about that? Since I know you had... Yeah, so there's a specific legendary Lost Sector, the quarry, that you have to run. But for about the first 3 or 4 hours, it was not that Lost Sector on Tuesday. So every streamer went through the same step together, and they got to a wall and be like, guess we'll see it tomorrow or Thursday, depending on when this thing pops up. And everybody's like, time gating much? And then Bungie tweeted out later, we switched it.
Wow.
They switched it pretty quick.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I don't remember who tweeted it out, but I saw something where I want to say it was maybe Fallout, or one of them said something about being time gated, and then we ran through it. I'm like, where was the time gated part? Like, I don't understand. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Dano's asking, do you think 4th Horseman should have been with the past and time begun the quest? Honestly, for a D1 exotic to come back, I'd rather the D1 be like, hey, here's the D1 exotic we brought back. New gun involves a quest. At least give me that switch.
Oh, you prefer the opposite.
I like, if something's going to be given to me in a battle pass, give me the thing I've seen before. Okay. Let me go journey to the new one. I still don't want anything there, but if I have to pick.
We know. we know. I'm in the middle. I'm indifferent. It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What else we got?
So, I mean, that was the quest. We got that one. That was the major thing this week. We've got really nothing else going on in the PvE section. Story still kind of hanging. Next week, we get the new bunker. That one's going to be on the moon. So we're going to have to... I don't know if there's going to be a little cinematic of that ground opening up or not, but we'll get to see the new bunker and level that one up. And just kind of wanted to see, have you guys maxed out your EDZ bunker yet? Are you guys done with that? How are you guys enjoying the Warmind bit grind?
Got them bits. How's your bits looking, Moncus?
Yeah.
What's up with the bits?
They're okay. Like I said,
they're okay. My cryptocurrency game is not so good right now.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had as much time to play this season so far, just because there's a lot happening. But we've seen, we had Undying, and we had the Season of Dawn.
Season of Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn, and now this one, and each one respectively has had its own little grindy like things, and I'm not saying that I don't like it, but I'm at this point I'm kind of like, I'll get it. Undying, like I straight burned through that thing. Like I grinded and grinded to get everything. To get the title and everything, and then when it's just slowly, I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, all right, I'll get to it. If I get to it, if I don't, I don't. I'm just not as, because I guess it's the repetitiveness of it. Like, it feels like the same. I'm just doing a different thing.
Like some controversy here. I need to ask some questions. So, what I'm getting from you, Lord Moncus, here is that not really a fan so far of this season annual pass structure with these grindy activities, and you kind of maybe prefer the old expansion format. Is that what we're getting at? What we going here, man?
I really don't have a preference. I mean, I get both ways. I'm not biased to one or the other, because I get why they're doing it this way, and I know that they're trying to keep players interested, because back in D1 and things, when you had expansions, there were some dry times. I mean,
yes.
It got pretty lackluster for a while. And so I get this. It's just that I think with the way that it's coming across every season to me, I love the story and I love that they're introducing new characters or characters back from the dead, which is awesome to me. I think the structure of how they're going about having to do things is keeping people busy, but I'm starting to just see past that every time now, and I'm not saying it's bad because it is good to have something to do to keep you to give you goals for the next season. It's just that I don't feel like I don't feel like the goals are like worth it. You know what I'm saying?
The juice isn't quite worth the squeeze.
Yeah. I mean, I like some of the titles, but unless you're a triumph chaser.
Right. Like the grindy natures of a bunker or an obelisk, and
I like grinds. I just want my grind to be something that's worth me putting however many hours I put in an Undying, which I put because you know what I'm saying. Like I put in a lot of hours to get all that stuff, and
I feel you.
At the end I got a title which I'm happy about, but. Looking back, I'm like, like.
No, I mean you are not wrong on that one. That was the same thing with Dawn for me. Dawn was probably my most casual season because I did a lot of XP bounties. I checked the boxes for the sundial. I know I forget who it was I was talking to. Somebody was like, I ran the sundial 5 times the whole season, and they still got the title. They did the specific thing. They did the flawless. They did this. They stayed alive. They killed Dino Tom. Done. Never had to do it again. And it's like and it's been a weird. And you said it right. It's like we had ultra dry, like Rise of Iron to D2 was just like, where is something to do? Versus now, here's always something to do, but it's like the busy work. So it's like, is less stuff but more special stuff more memorable, or is always having little stuff but you're bored when you're doing it? It's really hard, especially as they have less resources now than they even did before. Yeah, how do you ask them to be like, hey, I want more stuff? Okay, they have a season pass. Well, what if the season pass was just September and then they did a 6-month thing and they did now? If there was not, like, it's like, how do you, or you did 4 months instead of 3, so they didn't have this continual cadence. Like, whatever timing for them, I would be curious, like, would 4 months be better? Would 6 months be better? Or you guys would it be better if you just like, here's content for a year, Iron Banner would come up, Trials would come up, you keep your maintenance, you got your raid, here's your max level, you guys have it for a year, next year, big old expansion comes out. I mean, we've had this, Cognito and I has had this discussion over dry times and how much content and how quick we can get content, and it's always, and now we're kind of getting the other side of, here's these little season dunkers while 2/3 of the studio's working on D3 or September, whatever it is, and it's just really hard to know. It's hard to ask for more because we know they're limited, especially now with everybody being like working from home. It's not going to be any better. But on the other side,
I don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No. I was just going to say on the other side, we're kind of like, if we get another 6-person match made activity and a grindy obelisk in season 11, people are going to be like, dude, I'm just going to go play something else. Like,
And that's the thing, like, I don't feel like they're doing it wrong. I think that they have the right setup to keep people busy, but you can't just give people mindless things to do. You have they have to have a reason to want to do these things.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's cosmetic stuff or whatever, but like, like the artifact, that was a good because people are like, hey, I can get my light level to 10,000 or whatever, so I'm gonna grind this until I'm dead, and that's what some of them do. But and that's cool. But like, there just needs to be something in there to keep people fresh on it, and to say, oh, this week I'm doing the bunker stuff, but this week it's different from last week. There's a chance that I'm gonna get this, and maybe let that rotate, because in the end, people are going to complain that when something doesn't drop for them, but they're going to keep doing it until they get it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, have rotations in it. Have things have percentage drop rates that people want, and they're going to keep doing it. That week that it pops up, they're going to be there, and stuff like that. But,
no, I'm sorry if I cut you.
No, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, man, this is tough. I mean, I know what you're getting at, and it's tough because my thing is this. I'm seeing a pattern. You know what I mean? And like I said, we saw Obelisk. We got this. Um, and look, I don't hate it. I don't go into like the bunker and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. Like it's not that type of vibe. But it's kind of like what you guys are saying, where it's like, kind of like this mindless thing, and then you buy this thing from the war mine to decrease the amount of cost. It's kind of similar kind of things, and then it's like, okay, you buy this thing that's gonna give you this currency to drop while you do the other activities, and yada yada yada, and then next week the week after is gonna be this bunker and this obelisk. You're starting to see what it is, and listen, I know from a resource standpoint, they're working on D3. From my understanding, they're also working on that other game. I believe it's called Matter. There's another game they're working on. So essentially, the vibe I'm getting is D2 current team is kind of like the B team. You know what I'm saying? This is like a smaller group doing that while they got these other things.
Please tell them that, by the way.
No, this is.
What's up, B team? They're like, dude,
what's up,
what
B team?
the hell, man?
Salute to y'all. Salute y'all out here keeping the lights
harsh.
on. Listen, I just gotta call it how it is. I can't honestly say that this is substantial content. I can't do it. I'm not disrespecting anybody over there. I'm just saying that from what we're getting right now, it's kind of like this obelisk-y thing. You know what I'm saying? And this may have to be until September, because we clearly haven't got, since Shadow Keep, we haven't got a dungeon, we haven't got a raid, and we know those take resources. We know that's not an easy thing to create. I'm not going to disrespect them and say, hey, I want to raid every. No, come on, okay? That's just ridiculous. So my thing is, I don't envy them, because they're in this weird position where they have to keep the game afloat, and they have to also provide substantial content so that people don't go away from the game. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's tough, because you got the hardcore right now, saying, hey, I don't have incentive to play. There's no, that's kind of the murmuring going on right now. The hardcore, maybe the casual guys are all right, but the hardcore is like, this is not, getting me revved up, getting the juices flowing. And all I'm worrying about is, long term, what can they do to this, annual pass structure to juice it up, to get people still excited every time a new one drops. So that's a tough one. I don't know how they're gonna try to navigate it, but I can understand. There's some people that are like, hey, I'm taking a break right now. I'm playing this, I'm playing that, or that kind of thing. And look, I love Trials is back, but obviously not everybody's a PvP guy like me. I'm in heaven. I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? But some of the PvE community is like, I'm not really feeling the rest of the content, nor am I a Trials guy. I get it.
Yeah, well, I mean, even Soldier said something true. Yeah, I was like about to say the same thing. He said, I mean, they got next-gen consoles coming out. Whether they're delayed or not, they got to make a version of Destiny 2 for those consoles. Because you're just going to be cross-play, boot up your new console. People are going to be playing 4K 60 frames, field of view, on console, new PS5s. There's a difference in the architecture. They got to do some work there, too. And that's just not an overnight fix. They've got dev kits in there they're working with.
Oh, yeah.
So you have like a third generation, another game. You're trying to keep people like active in your current content. There's not enough people to make this stuff go around. So that's kind of the point where you log in and you see it's like, this is, I guess, where when you look at the calendar and you're going, hey, I got a bunker and I got a tower. Well, the towers are active already on every planet, so that's not exactly new.
Right.
So that's going to be the same thing kind of all season, at least for about 6 weeks. They don't have a date of anything passed about there. Then we have a bunker for 2 weeks, bunker for 2 weeks, and bunker for 2 weeks. Well, I've saved up. I mean, this is what we're looking at, and I've saved up close to 2,000 Warmind bits from this one after maxing it out. So it's like when I go over to the next one, I'm nearly
in the bits.
I'm working from home a lot, so
I ain't judging you. I'm just saying, wow, you out there, you doing it, baby, you doing it.
I will say I have been doing a lot of the repeatable bounties. I will say are easy because you just pick up which five and be like, hey, I'm gonna go do something with other weapons, whether it be the public event or strikes or crucible, and just be like, hey, go hit up some bounties, go match up my weapons, cool. And it's an easy like repetitious process, but it is very repetitive. But I was like, if I stock up enough this week, then I do the next bunker, and I'm like, okay, I'm almost done. I play some weeklies and get those up. And if I'm like 2 or 3 weeks down the road, I'm kind of going, just scratching my head to wonder. It's like I've upgraded the bunker fully. What else am I doing? If I've upgraded all the bunkers and I, make sure Rasputin can talk to all the bunkers and I even buy those things in advance, how much more is there to do?
You're not selling me on this content, Ian. You're not selling me.
No, I know.
You're not sounding enthused, brother.
And that's the hard part about this. This is where I don't envy Bungie's job. Their bigger focus is trials. You can tell they're tweeting out about the map every Friday. They're staying up on the loot. They've got the big piece is trials this season, and then the PvE stuff is kind of I don't want to say mindless grind, but it's not far from that because it is bounties, bits, and a currency, and it's tough. But it was like, why are you laughing so hard at me? I'm actually being honest.
It's just your tone. He's like, it's bounties, bits, and you sound so defeated. It's just funny as a PvP guy to hear you sound like me. That's what's funny right now.
I was like, I look at
here's
the
inside
calendar,
joke. Here's
and
the inside joke, real quick.
I was like, I look at the calendar and I know what my next 4 weeks are. I do. I already know what my next 4 weeks are. And there's not. There may be a quest that drops. There may be maybe there's a little teaser trailer of a moon bunker opening, or we get to see Zavala and Anna in 2 other bunkers, but I don't expect a lot for a month. So that's just where it is at this point for me.
The reason why I was laughing is just that remember my pain the last 3 or 4 seasons a year with no trials or whatever, right? And as the PvP guy, I was so frustrated. So it's so funny to see how the tables have flipped a little bit. And I'm like, I'm living my best life. Trials is back. I'm doing it. And then you're like, bounties, bunkers, bits. like it's just hilarious right now. But to your point, like we said, we're joking.
There's a
but
B you could throw in there, but that's
behave yourself. But yeah, man, it's just I don't envy them because they're in a tough spot. They're in a tough spot. And my only thing is, I worry is we have to be realistic, right? As gamers, we're realistic from the development standpoint. But there's also that thing that I worry that if too many people feel that it's monotonous and not substantial, do they start leaving the game? You know what I'm saying? And that's my only concern. Because, we all love this game. We don't want no one to go away from it. But people need, emotional investment. They need to feel a reason to log in every day. And I just, hope they don't stray too far while at the same time trying to manage resources. It's a juggling act. And I don't envy them, man. It's a tough position to be in.
Well, speaking of rewards, perfect segue. We got to talk about the weekend activity that you've been all sorts of gritted about. And then Moncus as well. Have you jumped into the world of trials since you, of course, make the art for it? Have you been playing the game behind it?
Yeah. I didn't actually. This has been interesting for me. This is kind of a segue, but it ties into it. I promise I won't go down a huge tangent here.
This is all we do is tangents.
That's what we do is tangent. You're right, Sean. Continue.
In D1, I didn't get to play trials because, like I said, I played on Xbox, and I didn't have anybody that played with me. It sounds super lonely.
Give me that gamer tag, brother. Holla.
But dude, no, I did. Like I played a ton, but I really didn't have anybody to play with in D1, mostly because my real life friends, all them, they didn't really play Destiny or mini games at all. And then it wasn't until D2 that my wife actually started playing. And when that happened, of course, then I had I had her to play with, but also had some other friends that we met that we currently play with. And so this year is the first year that I actually got to experience trials. And I had done plenty of comp play and things like that, but I didn't get to play trials,
So this is a new perspective. Let me hear this.
Yeah, and so, I jumped in there at 960 something and
that had nothing.
We did okay. Like, we didn't do horrible. There were some teams, we had to whip out the snipers on people who were up in the 1Ks because it's just it's hard to really fight somebody from 960 up to over 1,000.
Yeah.
But we lost the majority of those matches just because of mostly power level. I mean, they would survive supers and all kinds of crazy shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was in super, and it's not the strongest part of the attack, but I was on the striker, and I did the charge, the shoulder charge area, which would normally kill a regular guardian.
Yep.
It didn't, and it's just like that's one of those things when you're playing, you're so used to it happening that you move on to the next person. Well, when you do that, that person's still alive. He's just gonna continue to mow you down. So it's stuff like that. But all in all, it was fun. I just was like, I think the power level gap was a little bit too extreme. I don't mind having the power level in there. I just think like 30 and 40 power levels is like, woo, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But we did have a good time. And
how'd you guys? What was your highest card?
Man, we really only did like 3 wins. I think that's probably about as high as we got. Before we had to scratch every card.
Yeah.
That's probably where I'll be. Don't worry. If I ever jump in, I'm going to be on the same boat. What about you, Cognito?
Oh, man. Where do I begin?
Let's hear the thoughts of the return of the amazing thing that is Trials of Osiris.
Trials of Osiris, man. I mean, it felt good. I mean, obviously, I went to Saint, got my mercy boon, and then we took that bad boy, into orbit.
Small pause. Remember when we talked about that quest?
Yes.
Do you know what that was?
With the 9, just to be 9.
You had to be 960 and click a button.
Yeah, that was kind
of... that
was kind of whack. Let's just
had talked about that as like kind of a cheating prevention thing to be, hey, you got to get to 960, so I got to play some. And then if you up there, then, a decent quest to do one time so people don't want to repeat it a lot. You just have to be high enough. I thought that was the tweet was kind of misleading.
Misleading. You're right. That's a good point. I forgot all about that because our concern was the cheaters, and we wanted to give them a little bit of a hurdle if they get banned to come back in, not to be able to just boom right back at light level, create a new account, boom. So I forgot about it. Good point, E. I forgot all about that. So yeah, that was that. We got the mercies. We started up, and for Trials fans, that initial map, that what's the name of that map last week's, is such a iconic. I mean, that is literally like arguably a perfect Trials map. So it felt good to be out there. You're running, you're doing your call outs, you're doing your stuff. It felt really good. We got up to about 5. We got about 5. Then things started getting a little sweaty. We started seeing the power level stuff. We started seeing all that craziness. I started to learn the pain of hard light and other things. But there was some really good snipers, some really good teams. It's such an adrenaline-filled mode, and just the sweatiness and paying attention and stuff like that, not going off too far so you don't get picked. There's a lot of little nuances to it that I missed, and I love that it's back. So I mean, I got the 5. I got the my bounties done, and I got the scout. Shout out to Cool Guys, he had a good video of the scout. He said it's actually pretty good. I'm just trying to wait for a roll. The cool thing is, if you unlock a weapon, every Trials coin you have that goes as currency towards Osiris, you keep cashing in towards random rolls for any weapon you've already acquired.
So it's like an open bounty that you just like buy with tokens once you've got it once.
So basically, once you've got it once, the weapon, it drops, right? Yeah, and then every time you play, I guess you get tokens and stuff like that through gameplay. Once you go to him and you have all of your tokens, that is an opening for random rolls, which I like. Now, the thing that threw me off was the armor bit, because we were like, yo, where's the armor? How can you get it? And then Bungie kind of explained it. It's a rotating thing, every week based on the amount of wins you get. So that's a little different. I don't know how I feel necessarily about that just yet. I'm not like angered, but it's definitely different from the original D1 Trials. Overall, like my main thing is, I guess the mode feels great. I didn't have any major issues. The main thing I have right now, and we talked about it last word, is the power level thing, man. And I know the first week the artifact was enabled still. I get it, right? Now I gotta see how it is with the artifact disabled before I make my final comment, because it don't feel good when you facing them 1080s and them 11. It don't feel good, man. Like I was in there, was it 970, 980, and I was getting late. Like I couldn't even look at these dudes more than a second before you get ran off the screen. So we gotta see. I gotta see how that works, and I might say if it still feels the same with the regular and no artifact, I might have to question power level enabled. What's crazy is I'm the biggest power enabled dude from D1. I always loved that feature. I don't know how I feel about it lately. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's where I'm at with it, man. But now the mode feels great. I'm glad it's back. Having a ball.
Do
Practicing
you
loadouts.
think
What's up? Talk to
the
me.
rewards are fitting?
Right now, I have not acquired all of them. I can only go by what people have. And shout out to Fallout. Heard the shotgun is crazy. You know what I'm saying? The scout, I'm just not as good with it, and I just don't feel it's that strong in this meta. No disrespect, cool guy. I got it. I tried it. Just
You're not alone.
me.
You're not alone in that.
Okay.
I think me and Soldier, when we saw, he mentioned Cool Guy's review, and we are both just like, I don't know. It kind of feels like that scout rifle from the Season of Undying, the ones with all the leaves on it.
The leaves on it, yes.
What was it called?
Or
Imperative?
Yeah, Imperative or something like that. Yeah,
that thing was humongous. Like it felt like you literally had like a big deer rifle, that you're shooting with leaves on it. But like just the overall size of it on my screen was so disorienting.
Mm-hmm.
It was just bad, and I don't feel like this one's just like that. But I kind of have the same. It don't feel.
I heard Fallout even talking about the shotgun today. It's like it's a beefy one. Like apparently they're large, taking up some space.
Yeah, they're definitely taking up some space.
What kind of shotgun is it? What kind of archetype?
I don't even know. I haven't looked it up.
I think it's aggressive frame. I think it's aggressive frame. Yeah, I think it's aggressive frame. So look, I gotta see more on it. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm leaning towards like it's in the middle. There's some stuff that people are like, yeah, it's great, and there's some stuff that I'm like, you know what I'm saying, it's average. So I just gotta see more. You know what I'm saying? And I think what they're doing, they're mimicking D1 with the whole first loadout, but we gotta get. There's still classics that people haven't brought into this yet, which I'm assuming is later trials, like Doctrine. Doctrine of Path. There's classic trials weapons that the vibe I get is they're stringing this along each season. You know what I'm saying? As far as giving us all the stuff back and armors back.
They would be crazy not to, because I mean they need the content, so might as well just kind of like span it out.
Yeah.
Now, there are no adepts. That seems to be a pretty continuous thing. I wanted to ask you about that.
I got a problem with that. That is my
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, I got a problem with that because my thing is this: they've got this new perk. Got the name of it. It kind of acts like
celerity.
Yes, celerity. And my feeling is this: if you go flawless, bro, you've got to reward those guys. You know what they should do? They should almost do it like how the Sundial did. Remember when you went into Battle Pass in the Sundial and you got to that point and it gave you that extra perk, and it allowed you to choose between, having two perks and stuff like that. At this point, if you go to the Lighthouse, Bungie, that is a feat that needs to be rewarded. You can't give the guy the same gun guy at Win 5 got. He's got to have that intrinsic perk. If you're not going to give the Adept, you don't want to give Snapshot, you feel that's too much an advantage, fine. Give that Celerity perk as something as an extra perk bonus or allow something to switch. That to me is an issue. I don't like that there are no Adept kind of versions of the weapon. There needs to be a reward. And from my understanding, do you know what the what is it? Is the shards, anything going on with the flawless run as far as
like the trials,
currency
tokens and stuff?
It's like
just like trials coins or whatever they are.
Well, more so like golf balls or Descendant shard. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think I was listening to Drewski and stuff on Firing Range, and he was just saying, he's like, dude, I played all week and I have so many currencies right now. Like, they're getting a lot from those runs. And I think people are liking the fact that it's repeatable. Like, if you get a new card, you go in there, you get gear.
Right.
So maybe just the fact that it's repeatable, they wanted to not have you be able to farm adepts per se. But I mean, if you go flawless, I think the celerity, as you're saying, intrinsic celerity, and then maybe a double perk roll. Like, nothing overly at the top, but like celerity being an extra, and then have two of the other ones to give you better chance at your god roll. Excuse me.
Plus, it's like a mark of, like, you've attained that. Like, when that was a good thing about like in D1 when you saw that, like, that person. Granted, the ornaments and stuff are cool and all, but like having a weapon or something that you got because you went flawless or you did this raid and did this boss, and like that's something to be proud of. And like other people are going to covet that and say, I want to do trials, I want to go flawless,
Ding, 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 ding.
And it's just, it gives people more incentive to want to do it and be like, yeah, I got this weapon, I worked my ass off for it, but I got it.
Yeah, even if it was just like I mean, you can shade every weapon now, but like tiny ornaments, something to set like the adept. They don't have to be crazy over the top, but some other thing to set them apart, like a different spot that glows on top of the normal glows, a little bit extra for an adept weapon with those perks. I mean, celerity doesn't seem like it's going to be game breaking. It's usually like if you're the last one alive, you got those little extra
it's such a
reload and
negative
handling
situation
perks.
anyway.
Yeah,
right?
it's like you're already basically screwed. Like if you can pull
Yeah.
this one out, you're probably crafty anyway.
Yeah, and I just want to jump in on that because this is my main beef. Like, gotta call my peoples out, man. The issue I got is that I feel since the ritual weapons have gone away, the pinnacles or whatever, it's like they are so against giving that advantage or any type of advantage for like the hardcore. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen things like Luna's Howl and other stuff start to come back down as far as ease of acquiring. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just worried. Like I miss those days of, when like Moncus said, you went to the tower, you inspected that guardian, and his weapon said adept. And you're like, yo, okay, how did he get that? Or you go into the tower and you see that glow, you're like, okay. Like it incentivizes you to go hard, to try hard, to say, I want to also acquire that. And I just feel like they've been kind of going away from that. And I think they still need to give, the hardcore community those things because that's what makes people want to try hard to attain them. And I don't want them to go away from that.
You know what they need to, like, a frame of mind, a good frame of mind would be, in my opinion, and I think other people have obviously said this, is like, instead of nerfing Luna's Howl, instead of nerfing this, not nerfing, but instead of like taking its specialness away, put in something from a raid that you don't have to PvP for, that's hard to get, but for those hardcore PvEers, let's just say, not saying, like, let's just say a weapon like Hard Light, didn't exist in the game, but you got it from a raid boss or from a rare quest line drop from a raid that you could use against Luna's Howl. All right. All right. You got a weapon there right now that's broken basically for everybody who's wanting to use it. But let's just say it wasn't just available to everybody. All right. Immediately you got a counter. Like you got two different weapon archetypes that are pretty lethal in their own right. Instead of nerfing one, why don't you just like make a weapon archetype that's hard to get for each type of weapon so that if somebody likes playing with auto rifles, they can go get Hard Light and they can do some pretty decent damage. Someone who likes hand cannons, they can grind their butt off for Luna's Howl or Not Forgotten and do some decent damage. Someone who likes bows, someone who instead of nerfing these weapons back down, give each archetype their own special one that's hard to get, and so everybody who likes using pulse rifles, who likes using bows, who likes using, can have their own benefits. To me, that would keep everything in line with having a special type of weapon, and people would be more happy because they can say, well, he's got Luna's. I'm good with a pulse, so I'm going to put on this, and hand in hand, maybe the. I know you deal with like time to kills and stuff like that, and it would be hard to adjust, but I feel like it would be better than just making everything mediocre. I mean,
No, I feel you, man. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, I just want to answer a question. Hold on one quick. I think W.D. Prescott asked me. He said, one of the community managers said that one of the reasons they didn't do rituals was because they were making trials weapons. Would you accept that this season of trials, they didn't push to make sure they had a strong foundation to build on and you get adept or something like that, since they obviously had a limited amount of time and work for us to get everything, and when something is, they introduce it. This is when I'm going to be a little bad. I ain't buying it, man, because it's like Trials was away so long. You know what I'm saying? Like Trials was away for like a full year, I would say, even more, right? So they kind of had time. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you were to say that took away the resources, to do the rituals and stuff, okay, I'll let that. I'll accept that. But it's just, I'm kind of where Moncus is at in the sense that I worry about, these weapons that you put in a lot of a commitment to, the Lunas, Luna's Howl and stuff like that, and then they're kind of made easier to attain, or the steps or whatever, or then they're just nerfed or changed. I mean, Lunas and all that got changed. Not forgotten, they got changed. They went from 180s to 150s, I believe. You know what I'm saying? They changed the archetype. So I'm just worried about that stuff. I want there still to be difficult things that reward people. And then I would be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? When trials doesn't have adept weapons, and hopefully they take the feedback. People have spoken up. So and they spoken up with the artifact, and they did change that. So what do you feel, E? What do you feel with this whole depth and ritual style weapons kind of changing?
I mean, I think this discussion is going to carry right over when Grandmaster Nightfalls come out. Same principle.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about that as I look at, Ascendant shards and exotic armor as just common. And I'm like, I'm going to go bash my head through a 1060 Nightfall because the average person may do some pinnacles. Pinnacles are going to be easier around then, but you're not going to start it then. So most people are probably going to be, not a lot of people raid, do dungeons, do trials on the average. So you're going to have people like maybe 1001, 1002 on gear score. Plus an artifact, if you're a decent average player, might be 15 or 20. You're 40 power levels below something with about 12 negative modifiers against you.
Yeah.
That's the PvE version of like climbing the trials hill. And either one, both trials is longer. But either way, both of these activities don't have the pot of gold at the end that you want to go for. They don't have that valuable exclusive reward that says I worked my ass off in this activity and I got something that is worth my time, my effort, and it doesn't set itself apart. If I'm just gonna go in there and it's like, oh, I got another random roll on this like basic weapon, I get a I get a pinnacle drop or something. I'm like, why do I care? Like that's the hard part for me, and that's the same thing you guys are saying for trials is what is the point in going flawless if I can play matches, get some tokens, and then at some point it's all going to come in the rotation. I get it. And then I can literally go play basic matches, win or lose or otherwise, and eventually get all the weapons and armor without having to go flawless. There's no eventual reason to go flawless. It's just time waiting on it to come into rotation. And that's just not cool.
And that's why, like what Moncus said, like they should introduce stuff like, okay, if you go flawless, maybe you don't get in exotics, but you open up a quest line, right? That's unique because you went flawless, and now this quest line leads to an exotic, or you did the Grandmaster Nightfall, right? Then you got the chance for this quest line to drop, and then almost like how like Izanagi Burden or whatever it is, like they need some incentive. You just can't have people doing the best, highest ceiling content in the game, but their rewards are equal to the guys who are not. You know what I'm saying? Like it just I don't like that. It needs to be a little bit of disparity, and that's what I'm worried about. They need to do. They can't be scared of that. That's me.
They're scared of balance. Like
they're so terrified of balance.
Terrified of balance. Terrified.
And the bad thing about it is like there's been games that have existed. Like World of Warcraft is one. That game has been worked and reworked since the beginning on balance alone being the thing. Like just balance. But the weapons were always very interesting because you could go into raids and it wasn't about like you could do a raid for weeks and never see it drop. And then you might have a chance when it drops to get it yourself out of a 40-person raid. All right. But if you got a certain weapon in raid, you could take that thing into PvP and be a beast with it. On the flip side, there were people who played that game, never touched a raid, but PvP'd and worked their way up to what was called Grand Marshal rank or whatever.
Yeah, I remember
They
that.
would get weapons that were equivalent in power to the people's in the raid. They might not have the same perks, but they were more in tune with PvP. And you had both sides of the spectrum. Both sides were happy. People who liked PvP, they would grind PvP. People who like raids would grind raids. And nobody really complained when it came to weapons. It was more about like class abilities and stuff. But that kind of, in Destiny, that's almost out the window. So like if you just focused on weapons and given everybody something good to grind for, they're going to be there. And it don't matter if you have to do 6 of those the lost sectors you're talking about are nightfalls a week to get a chance at it. If there's a chance, they're going to go for it because that grind is worth it.
Facts.
I agree. That's what it's all about, is whether it's worth it or not.
Whether it's worth it. Absolutely. Completely agree. That's what it's got to be, man. Got to be that. I'm with it.
Yeah. Well, I think the final thing, TWAB was fairly light, but we do have Iron Banner coming next week. We finally get our point of the stag bow. If you guys have been waiting on that one, looks looks kind of fancy. There's combinations on there. It looks like it's gonna have a curated roll, so elastic string, natural fletching. I can't quite tell its type, but you've got first column with 2 perks is No Distractions and Archer's Tempo. Second one is Vorpal and Eye of the Storm. So for boss damage, you could go Archer's Vorpal and just start firing faster and faster and pumping that damage in. I could actually see that being decent. No Distractions. Eye of the Storm I never love. This weapons becomes more accurate and boost handling as your health gets lower.
Your health gets lower.
That's like every Xur video that I do. There's so much. But it's like there's quite a few perks that are like when you're in this crappy situation, then it activates and I'm like, why do I want to be next to my deathbed just so I can take advantage of this thing or die? One of them is actually to die. And I was just like, I know they at some point, like, perks are hard to keep getting creative on, but I was like, I don't want to be like really low in health to be like, cool, now it's better. What if I'm not low in health? What if somebody's like a god in PvP? They don't use half the gun. Like, okay, cool. I don't know. It looks kind of cool. Iron Banner, I'm sure the ornamentation will be nice, but I mean, No Distractions of Vorpal, maybe, or Archer's Tempo of Vorpal, I could see actually getting a decent amount of kind of use on it, but that's just on bosses though. So I don't know. That's next week, but I mean, do we expect much different besides, Smelting Light? That's the quest.
Yeah.
Power Advantage will be enabled, but Artifact will not, as it is currently in Trials this weekend. Yes. And after that, a month of bunkers and towers. Oh, I'm sorry. And they're bringing back the I don't even know what armor sets those are. They're like the dark red and gold. Forget the name of those sets.
2.0 version of the
Iron Man
genre.
No, not a fan of the Iron Man armor sets. Like D1,
any of them or these?
Yeah, D1 was the best. You know what I missed from D1? Go ahead, Moncus. Go ahead. Then I'll go after you.
I'm gonna say, like, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, the sets are nothing in comparison to D1 to me. I agree. You just can't. But like, they're not bad. It's just that I'm just not into them, I guess.
Yeah, the standard was set. You know what I missed?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, bro. Like, remember the Rise of Iron ones that had like the furnaces going on in your chest and the
where the hell are those, dude?
And then the ones that had the fur. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
we
it was
had an
crazy.
Iron Banner set of armor since when? When did we get when's the last new Iron Banner set of armor we got? Was it year
really
one?
Kind of recycling.
Yeah, this been all of them.
Yeah, these are all remixed over and over. Yeah, it's like, give me a set of armor that has like stuff on like shoulders and chest and legs, like whatever subclass I'm wearing. Guess what? There's like electricity on my shoulders, or there's fire in my stomach, or there's like a void fog in my knees. Like, give me that type of stuff, dude.
Remember, we used to have the wolves on the shoulders, and we used to have some fly stuff, bro.
I have huskies. Of course, I want the wolves. Yes, of course. I'm biased, but
again, that's resources.
Yeah. Listen, at this point, I'm willing to pay Tess as an ornament. Like, yo, do something, man, because you can't be bringing this old stuff out. This Walmart. Do you
know how much money they would make if they brought back all the old armor as ornaments? Are you kidding me right now?
All the old Crota raid armor and everything.
Yes. People would buy the hell out of that stuff.
Call it the Age of Triumph series. Man, I'm telling you, we get the studio on their feet right now. Bungie, listen to us, man. We will gladly pay for that stuff. What? Man, some of the best.
I did actually want to ask you guys. I saw Pope Bear tweet something out, and his was basically asking the prices of the stuff in the Eververse. Like, no, I mean, it's always a thing, but it's like, and I know they look at other games, and I'm sure they do. And this is my point of view. Is like some of the sets of armor or the ornaments and stuff. They're like, I don't know, it could be like $15, $20, like whatever. A big set of armor is going to be a pretty good chunk. Like, I know I would probably buy, like, I would spend the $20 or $30 if I got more sets, as opposed to if one set cost $20. If like 3 sets cost $20, I would probably spend $40 because I feel like I get more. I just feel like everything in that Eververse store that is for silver is too high.
I've thought about this a lot, and I don't buy a lot of stuff from Eververse. I bought more recently just because I only buy it if I'm like am I going to get this and wear it? Like, if
Right,
it's if
right,
it's going to be
yeah.
something I see is like, I really like the style of this, and I know I'm going to wear it, or I know I'm going to use this, I'll buy it.
Right.
And then I think about the cost, and I'm like you. I'm like, this is pretty expensive. But then, I'm thinking like, it's Bungie. We're dealing with a lot smaller company here in terms of what we're used to these days from like EA or things like that. So it's like, if they're going to put something up here, they're probably going to try to at least make it worth their while. And granted, it might be a little overpriced, but you're paying a company that's got pretty limited resources for what they're trying to do. So I don't mind it, because I'm not buying everything that they put up there either. There are some people, they're just like, they want a lot of stuff that's up there, and then they get into the mode of, this shouldn't even be on Everburst, this should be in the game, which is that's a whole different ballgame.
That's a whole
that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit pricey. I'm in the same boat too. Like, there's some things that I know if I'm going to wear or it's on an exotic that I know that I use. Like, bro, I ain't gonna front. When they threw that, you know how they got me, E? They know I'm such a Trials fan. I seen those Osiris versions of, bro, that Outbreak Prime got purchased. Outbreak Prime with the logo, with the eye. I was like, oh, Bungie, you did it again. Here goes the credit card. Let's go. Swipe. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's certain things I know I'm going to use, but yeah, some of this stuff is really pricey. And they need to kind of, figure it out. And can we get some sales every once in a while? Can we get a sale?
They have some, but they're not that great. Like,
it ain't that great.
Like, buy 3 armor sets for like, if you occasionally just do like your clearance sale, like, some of this crap is old. Let me spend $15 and kind of shore up some ornaments here or something like that. I would spend more if it wasn't all like, if an ornament wasn't $8. I'm like, we move guns around enough, like, but if it was like 3 or 4, I'd probably buy like $10 worth as opposed to not buying the 8. Like, mine's the point where I would probably spend more if the value was better for me. So it's hard.
How much would you pay for like the Kingsfall raid armor or as ornaments?
I mean, they can take my wallet. I don't know.
We ain't gonna complain.
See, it's like, if they look like that, then we'll talk. And especially if they're ornaments. Yeah, then I'll talk, but like, I don't know.
I'm just messing.
No, for sure. Like, those would be amazing.
Bro, there's some things I violate code of ethics on. Is that those?
Man, like, I've got like principles and everything. Oh, it looks like that. Take it.
Yeah,
take it away. Take
certain
the
ones, man. It's just, I tell you, they what's funny is they're sitting on a ton of this stuff. Man. They're sitting on a ton of this stuff if they wanted to do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, they had the assets. They just got to rework them to fit within the game.
Yep, Armor 2.0 and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's what I get. I guess I admit I would be very weak. Dude, no doubt.
I would, man. I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
If I could walk around like the what is it? What is the Age of Triumph? Is that what it's called?
Age of Triumph.
Age of Triumph.
Remix.
Yeah, the Age of Triumph Crota armor sold.
Yep.
I would drop the 20 on that and be like, you brought it back. You didn't you had to rework it. I understand, but you even brought it back, and I'll pay more for that one. But just after seeing those in D1, they screwed up D2 because now they can't match it. Yeah. You have like the Siva armor that has like the little floating shoulder pad little thing that keeps coming out. Oh, dude, they were so good. So Taken King too. Those were I like the Crota one, like, stuck out more, but like I love like the crackling kind of the lightning underneath in the Taken King armor. Those were gorgeous.
Yes.
Good stuff.
I'd even pay for the vaulted glass one that had a little Wi-Fi signal on the back. Bro, I want the Wi-Fi, man.
Oh my god, I never remember those.
I just thought I was like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Remember that shit? Yo, they sitting on some stuff, man. Some funny ones was the the Wrath of the Machine Warlock. He almost had like a mattress kind of look with the thing. Remember that? That's some funny outfits, man. Iconic outfits, man. Very, very good artwork. Man. Salute to those guys. They really do a fantastic job with the design, man. A lot of the stuff. So if they ever decide to bring it back, I'm there.
Yeah,
I am there.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I found the list of them now. God, they look good.
I was going to ask you one thing about Trials. Like, how do you like Saint 14's voice Boy, yeah, like
Oh,
when
he's
he's like-
hilarious.
I know.
He's hilarious.
I think he did one where like I sniped the guy or something, and he said something, but I was just like, it was just out of nowhere. I was like, really?
Yes.
Like-
He's a trip. Like you beating people like I will tell the children about. I'm like, what? He goes off on his tangent, but he's fun. Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't, like I said, well, Cyrus never, his voice was never in the game. Technically, it was Shax who did Trials with
Yeah.
Cyrus in D1. But it's fun to have him. He's just aggressive. He's hilarious. You don't know what he's gonna say. It's really good. I definitely do like that aspect of it. And the only thing I want to say, E, before we close out, I do like that thing that they implement. I know we've been kind of digging on them about things we don't like about Trials, but I kind of like that thing they're doing with the emblem. And then if you help someone go flawless,
We're on the
you're
white
getting
one.
some
Yep.
reward. I like that. So again, they doing some things I like, but again, we just got to work on the little weapons and stuff. But yeah, shout out to my man, saying Sync 14, spicing up Trials with all the Russian craziness that he be saying. It be off the chain. I do like it. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, the light
I guess
makers
I'm
and
into
light
that.
breakers.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Yes.
whenever I actually get a group together to work on Trials, I'm just going to see red stop signs in front of me everywhere. That's all I expect to see. It's going to be rough.
Be good.
I'll be like, I'm over here on the white side. Don't hurt me.
No doubt.
Well, yeah, it's like it is a lighter week, and I mean, Trials definitely enjoy it this weekend. Anything else you got, Cognito, before we wrap this up and let this man get back to his family?
Yeah, man, we gotta
I'm
get
gonna
a man
get back to
his
Trials.
family. Yeah, man.
Okay, well, there's
Back to
priorities.
Trials.
That's good, you know.
We gotta get back to Trials. Nah, man,
Your wife pops in and be like, excuse me.
yeah, I gotta get my 4 horsemen, and other than that, man, just ready to grind.
Yeah, go get your go get your quest. Grind out those bits. Got to get ready.
Yeah, no, I did the smartest thing though. Even though I don't got everything done, I got the one that for every activity I do, I get the random chain.
Yeah,
So that was the one I
your
worked on
grind, if you
earlier.
guys don't know, grind out the cost first, so everything is
Yes.
cheaper, and then
Lower.
grind out
Mhm.
like from the right, like 3 columns in, the third one in, the bottom of that. Yeah, go do crucible matches. Go do, and that was
Yes.
the thing. Like I was like Drewski was saying when I heard him say something somewhere. He's like, I have like 5,000 bits because I've just been playing constant Crucible, and every so
Yes.
often you'll get a drop of like 22 or 30 or
20
25,
yeah,
and
get
it's like
28 a while.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely. Yeah, man. That's what all I got.
I really appreciate you guys having me on.
oh
a good
man,
time.
dude, it was a pleasure. I've been a fan of your art as long as I've even seen it pop through my Twitter. I was like, follow. First time I saw one that was just like, that's amazing, follow. And then just everything since then is like, I was like,
What
well,
was
then
the
I'll
first one?
see. Oh God, that I saw. I think I have it open. Let me see the first one. There you are.
I'm always curious to see like when people.
So like,
actually
are there
notice.
older ones? Because I'm looking at like just your Brian Moncus art. I see the Drifter down there, Sonic, and then goes into Lord Saladin. Is that kind of? Are there ones that are older than that, or are those as about as old as you
Yeah.
go?
He's got like a art station page that has a lot more of them.
So like this is interesting if you didn't know. Like if you go to Bungie.net, some of the avatars they have up there are mine. Like
yes.
the
and the
little
chibi stuff.
the little cartoon ones.
Yeah.
So you're talking about styles earlier. I do cartoon stuff too. I can. Like Bungie.net's thing, the little hunter with the celestial nighthawk and everything.
Yes.
That's one of mine. I think there's a warlock with a I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, yeah. But no, there's some older ones. Ones from D1 that are in black and white. They look like they're done in pencil. The Crota Warlock, the Kingsfall Hunter,
Yep.
and there's a Titan too with the arms from the strike from the brothers, the Cabal brothers from the.
The Shield Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
I spent way too much time in that strike.
Yeah. So yeah, those 3 are probably my oldest of more realistic stuff. Before that, it was all cartoons and like chibi stuff.
Nice. Yeah,
But
I mean, I'm somewhere in the Lord Saladin / Kingsfall. When either of those popped up, probably like I think the Saladin one may have been one of the first, but that's probably one of the ones I remember just sticking out as like, okay, this is awesome. And then just kind of the Oryx one, just anywhere in that realm, I've just been.
Yeah,
like,
that actually wasn't even that long ago. It's about a year or so
it's
ago.
been so much longer. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. It feels like so much longer since like we met you at Guardian Con last year and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Which cross
his
our fingers
booth
that
was
thing's holding
busy.
on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Looking
we
spooky
will.
right now. Looking spooky.
Yeah, I'm preparing. I mean, we're not canceling anything until they cancel, but at the same time, I'm just like, it's so depressing.
Well, I was listening to, it was Mylan Games, I think, and then him and Gamma Trap. They were probably like across from you guys. They were saying, and I don't know if this is the same for you. So please, if you guys like this Get Man's Art, please go online and buy it, because I know with Guardian Con they said theirs was like 50% of their sales for the year was from Guardian. Like they got a ton of sales from Guardian Con. Like they got a big chunk. I don't know for you guys if it was that big, but if it was a big chunk.
Yeah, I mean, Guardian Con's really generous, but most of the people there, like, there's a lot of Destiny fans there, and so yeah, I mean, we do well there. I'm like, I work a full-time job, so I'm like, this is like side stuff to me. But
like,
for people like
bonus.
Gamma Trap and Myline and them, this is what they do, and especially Gamma Trap. Like he does art full time, so like it means a lot for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
When Guardian Con is canceled, and any artist, when a con is canceled, and if you're a regular like exhibitor at a con, it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of artists this year actually hurting, but no, I mean, while I appreciate it, it's not like my main source. So I'm not like. I'm more disappointed, and honestly, I'm more disappointed I'm not going to get to see a lot of people this year.
Right. Yeah,
Dude,
that's my opinion too, man.
Like, it was between this year and the last year, I think the craziest thing is I've just become closer and friends and more people that I've met and, like, talked to and had on the podcast and stuff. I'm like, I just want to buy, like, the entire, like, convention a drink, basically, because of so many cool people. And if it doesn't happen, it's just going to hurt. And my wife actually had a really good vacation out there, too, because she's like, you go to the convention, and I'm going to sit by the pool.
She was chilling.
She had like the best time. She's just like, I didn't have to care about you, and I was like, this makes me feel good. She's like, I don't have to care
comforting.
about. Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. Your best vacation was when I was not involved in most of it. It was fun, but she was just like, she got to completely relax, just like read a book. She's like, hey, I want to go have sushi. Cool, I'm gonna go have sushi. Hey, I'm gonna grab a drink, and she was just like, didn't have to care about anything. And she loved it. So I was like, we enjoyed that half of it too. So I'm like, I'm hoping things die down, but honestly, like, we got to do what we got to do. But it's just going to be a bummer.
even if they do, the bad part about all this, I think there's still going to be a lot of people who either canceled a lot of their plans, or they're scared to go anywhere. And that's going to be a concern for a while in everything. I feel like, just because even once this stuff dies down, there's still a matter of it resurfacing. You just don't. Yeah. People are going to worry, and.
Well,
not to be a downer, but
no, I mean it's fair. We got to play safe. Even somebody was just saying it's like, flights from here to here, they were just straight up like American canceled them or something. So it's like some stuff just isn't going to happen, and it's just a bummer. So for everybody out there, stay safe. Don't go out if you don't have to. If your job is still making you do it, send them a few news articles, see if they'll catch the drift that most people should be staying home. Exactly. Especially this man between us on the podcast here. Like, hopefully you can stay home as well. So,
I have to be at work, but I don't have to be in contact with people now. So
good. Okay.
Good. Kind of a thing.
Go put up a CDC like plastic over your office door or something. Seriously,
get the hazmat.
Yeah, for real.
Well, that's all we got, man. If you guys are watching the video, the links are kind of on screen, Brian Moncus art. But if there's anything you want to tell them, where to follow you, anything you got coming, any pieces you're working on, any stuff they can expect, let them know anything and everything they can to find you. This is your time, sir.
Sure. You can follow me on any of my socials, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, which I'll be streaming more once we actually get into our new home within the month. And I think that's about all. All of them are going to be Mr. Moncus. Instagram is Brian Moncus. And that's pretty much it. So any of those platforms, just look for Brian Moncus or Mr. Moncus, and you'll find me. And I appreciate the time, guys.
Appreciate you coming on, man. Appreciate you sitting by the campfire with us, man. A lot of fun.
It was a pleasure, believe me. So,
Absolutely.
Well, Cognito,
Absolutely.
quick wrap for you.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure you
already
guys
know.
are gonna have an interesting chat.
Oh yeah, you know it,
Oh
man.
my
So you know,
god, I don't know.
it's
If,
gonna
I
be
don't know if I
crazy.
can actually bring myself to listen to that one. I can.
Yeah, you might need to stay away.
I might have to. I might have to skip that one.
It's gonna be crazy, man. Which,
Yeah.
of course, on Twitter at Lord Cognito and on YouTube Iron Lord Podcast. It's going to be a hot and heavy one, most likely, with all the new systems that came out. The Xbox Series X tech reveal, the PlayStation 5 tech deep dive. We're gonna get into that. We will have Wilmy Hood on. He's a big charitable member of the gaming community, so we'll have him on, and maybe we have some surprise guests. We'll see what happens. But yeah, look forward to us every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern is the Lord's Day. So check us out on YouTube. We will go live. We will talk all the stuff and prepare for King to have some things to say about Mark Cerny's
I can literally
his
picture
exhilarating
them, right?
deep
I can
dive.
Picture them right now. It is going to be. Now, granted, I will give 100% credit. Like that was a GDC talk. That is not what we wanted right now. So I'm just going to say my little bit. That's fine. But I was like, yeah, we need some more for the PlayStation fans. But yeah, you definitely gave the Xbox fanboys ammo to just crap all over PlayStation for a little while. So I was like, I'm gonna have to skip that one. Give
Nah, don't worry. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, give him my best.
I'm bringing in some PlayStation reinforcements as a cameo. Don't worry. It will not be. You know, we gonna play this thing fair. We gonna call it down the line.
There's no way that's gonna go.
No, you trust me. I got somebody good. I got somebody good. He ain't gonna be able to keep King in check, but at least some more information will come out.
So
Look forward to that, man. And again, salute to Brian Moncus for coming on. The Last Word. A lot of fun, a lot of knowledge. Again, this guy has tremendous artwork. If you haven't seen it, please check out the website. It's fantastic. And the minute he puts out more Warlock stuff, he's getting more. Continue.
yeah, it's like if you wanna sell
Just let
anything,
you know. Just no pressure or anything.
yeah, if you want to sell anything, you got a guarantee right here, guaranteed sale.
You wanna
Probably
do
one for me
anything,
too.
Warlock.
So
Just don't all the warlock stuff.
Exactly. You know, if you want to do that, just don't you worry.
if you ever feel like venturing outside in games, I know you were saying World of Warcraft you played. How far back does what are some of your early games, like early favorites, real quick?
How far you want to go?
Well, I was gonna say like I was 8-bit Nintendo, so I'm not sure how old you are. Probably about our age.
I'm 30. I'll be 36 this year. So yeah.
Oh, yep. They'll be 37 in July. So yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I can go as far back as you want to go.
I would be basically what I will say if you ever look up the character, not asking for a commission, but I would like your style of like the Destiny art for Chrono Trigger. I would be really curious what that would look like. Just if it ever like trips into your mind.
I thought about it. There's so much. What's great about those games and stuff. There's so much nostalgia for a lot of our age range, and for little people a little bit younger too. And anybody who's picked it up, that like they do well. Like when you see fan art of that stuff, it does really well. Not just in sales, but like people like seeing it, you know, because it's like it's one of those things. Anytime I'm perusing through artwork and I see like something that's old school, you know, that brings back memories, I'm like, that's a really cool take on that, you know, and I start looking the artist more because you're like you recognize something, you know. Love stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely I have to get into more artwork, and I'm hoping that once I start streaming, I'll start tossing in some Destiny pieces and then interweaving some other stuff with it. So
nice. Well, looking forward to seeing all the things that come from you, sir. For me, you guys know I'll be streaming. I'm going to be kicking my own ass in Neo, or at least the game's going to be doing it for me. And if I get a random group together who wants to go goof around in Trials, you guys might see me streaming. I don't know, but I'll be streaming a lot, basically. Find me here if you're not here, but if you're catching it in video or audio form, twitch.tv/Ebontis. Ebontis everywhere. If you trip over a cheetah and my name, you're probably in the right place. But for episode 95, again, Mr. Moncus, Brian, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. And jealous of the talent, but enjoy watching it come together.
I appreciate it so much, man.
Well, thank you guys in chat. This has been awesome. Don't go anywhere. I want to send you guys over. I always like to raid somebody with any of the viewers out here. But at the end of every one, we try and end it. If you've ever heard Fire Team Chat where they end it and try and say it together, I have joys of editing. I can make us say it together. At the end of every podcast, we end it saying the last word, hence the title. So I'll wrap it up. And when I kind of give you a little pregnant pause, that's where you kind of say the last word and I'll get it in there. So So yeah, episode 95, March 20th. Thank you. Our special guest, Brian Moncus, Moncus Art, BrianMoncusArt.com. Thank you. Go check out Iron Lords Podcast. Find me streaming. And for this episode, it has been
The
The Last Word.